Are you tired of sorting through the noise, the myths, and the mixed messages around weight loss medication, especially GLP? So, unless you're living under the rock, you have probably heard about the GLPs. This GLP medications and other newer obesity medications can bring a lot of hope and a lot of questions. And believe me, everyone has an opinion. Everywhere you go, there's misconception and there's a lot of confusion. Well, this webinar series is designed to break down what to expect in real life, right? From early diagnosis, the bumps along the way, how to think about long-term care for obesity. And I am also going to share practical tips on talking to your provider. So you're a health advocate. You definitely want to be able to beat around all the noise, knowing the right provider, who is the right doctor to take care of you. And my hope is that you will come away with not just clarity, but reassurance, and you have the tool to use. So whether you're just curious about the GLPs or you want to know, because everyone is either going to know someone or you're already on it, I want you to explore your options. And if you're struggling with weight loss, right, and you just really want to understand the GLPs, I will make sure that I deliver expert evidence-based, that's keyword, evidence-based insight that would enable you to apply the information. I am Dr. Dolapo Babalola, family physician. I have additional training in obesity medicine, lifestyle, and menopause care. And during this 5 day series, I'm going to take a deep dive into 5 different topics. The first one is just weight wellness, obesity. Why does it matter? Why are we talking about this, right? And the second video, the second day is going to be on the multifactorial care of obesity. What does that look like, right? Starting from the history, going to the examination, going for the labs, right? And then the third day, we're going to talk about treatment options with a focus on medications, all right? Certainly, lifestyle is always the foundation, but some people might need medication. And what kind of medications? What does that look like? Definitely want to give you enough information that would keep you informed. And then number four, we're going to just I'm going to share some insights as to who qualifies for this medication, who truly benefits, what are the indications and the contraindications. And then the final video or webinar is going to be on a strategic lifestyle integrated plan that will help you maximize your results, not just safely, but also sustainably. So safely and sustainably matters. So to get started, the truth about obesity, what is it? What does it even mean? A lot of times people think it's willpower, but it truly is just biology. All right. So with this video, I'm really going to highlight that disease is a chronic disease, right? Obesity rather is a chronic disease. I'm also going to share why traditional dieting has failed. I've been subject to the dieting world, the yo-yo dieting. I've been there, done that, right? And so today, the takeaway is going to be understanding your body's changes everything. Just understanding that your body changes everything is eye-opening. So let's start from the very beginning. If we can fast forward or go back. We know about all the fad diets, right? All the fad diets, the garment wear, the eat less, move more. That's what we were taught in medical school. And that was the approach I had with my patients at the very beginning of my career, because that's what we were taught. We were taught very little in nutrition. And so we just thought, eat less, move more, you wouldn't gain weight. But we've since learned, right? Since 2013, where the obesity medical The Obesity Medicine Association actually defined obesity in 2013 as a chronic relapsing multifactorial neurobehavioral disease that characterizes by excessive fat. All right. So excessive fat dysfunction that leads to a few things. It causes adverse metabolic problems, biomedical and psychosocial health consequences. And this is all coming from excess fat. So you see how complex that definition is? If I had to summarize it, just look at it at two buckets: sick fat disease and fat mass disease. So sick fat disease will look like the metabolic derangement that happens, the diabetes, the hypertension, the high cholesterol. That's the sick fat disease, because when you have excess fat, really serves as an inflammatory marker. It releases insulin resistance and all the things that we don't want to have. And then fat mass is just the extra pressure on the joints, right? Extra pressure on the neck for sleep apnea, for arthritis. So this is why it matters. This is why it matters that we understand what obesity is. And believe me, as you already heard, it is physiological, it's neurobehavioral, it's a combination of things, biomedical. Now, if we look back, we used to, as far back as in the 1990s, we had very few people that were obese. And when we say obese, we're talking about a BMI, because that's how obesity is defined. It's based on the BMI, which is the basal metabolic index, right? And now we find that, over the 30s, there's class one, class two, class three. It used to be morbid obesity, but names have changed to be more user-friendly and to be more patient-forward and patient-centered. Now, at this moment in 2024, 2025, statistics have shown that nearly 4 in 10 people in the US lives with obesity. Again, BMI greater than 30. And that has increased remarkably from the early 1990s. Let's talk about childhood obesity. So that has increased remarkably, all the way from August 2021 to August 2023. There's approximation is about ages 2 to 19, our kids are obese. Approximately 40% of them are obese. The number is closer to that range, and it has increased from 2017 to 2018. So there are multiple factors. There is genetics, yes. There was a study where twins, one was obese, the other one wasn't, and then they did a transport of the gut microbiome and saw the difference in the twins. The one that wasn't obese now became obese because they had deposited the stool into the non-obese child, and the child became obese. So there's genetic factors that account for 40% of the weight regulation. There's also environmental. Environment amplifies our genetics, right? And we live in an era where food is accessible. It's accessible, it's affordable, and it's designed for us to just eat more, unfortunately. So the highest calorie, we're in the highest calorie era in human history. Yes, we don't have to do much. The food is right there. Imagine Uber Eats, all of that has increased so much, right? So there's also a lot of metabolic variability, right? So there's almost like an increase in 20% difference in caloric burn, right? So there's all of that. And then, of course, we have the brain and the appetite regulation. I mean, did you know that there's a whole company that is hired to make us eat more, engineering food? So there's a lot of background. I can't share all of them within this time frame that I have, but I want you to understand the history behind obesity. Why does it matter? We need to create a generation where we have healthy parents, healthy kids, we have healthy communities, but it's not by labeling people or shaming people. It's about understanding what's going on with the human body and what's going on with our environment that would definitely empower us. So that's this episode. That's this series I'm starting off with, just talking about what obesity is, what's the definition. And in my practice as a family physician that practice obesity medicine, I don't just look at BMI because it's not enough. That's based on a population. I focus on percentage body fat where there's a range for a man and there's a range for a woman. So I look at multiple areas, and I will be talking more about that in the next video.